The conference report, I was fortunate to have been called on by Carlton to read and to have a response, so I was pleased the response was included. But I think what it's really is doing is evidencing the issues. You know, having been part of an evidence-based organisation like the police, you need to show the evidence, you need to have solutions at the same time. So breaking down, you know, what are the systemic failures, what are the barriers to, one, achieving your true potential, and not just surviving, but actually striving. And I think identify your strengths. I mean, Wilfred said something really important. People recognize your authentic truth. So if you know your truth, then you will put it across in a way that is unique to you, and you will continue despite the barriers, and you won't be derailed as easily by the personalities and the prejudices and the blockages. So the important thing is know your truth and use the evidence to give you leverage, but ensure that you pursue your purpose in a way that is you, that is unique to you. Well, I think change is required sooner rather than later, because we have been the most patient of people over the decades, from the Windrush generation, like my parents, all the way through. You know, they always say, well, change is going to come, change is going to come, as Sam Cooke said. But we need to know it's now. I think it's incumbent on our young generation, current leaders of today, who build on, you know, the shoulders of warriors of previous generations, our generation, and ensure that they are ready to take on the responsibilities for change and do for self. I think this is what I want to see, us not just relying on favours or even your guardian angels, as Wilfred said. Personally, my guardian angels, my parents, God rest their souls, but in all honesty, it really need to have that real spiritual strength to push you through. And I think our young people need to have journeys to identify with. So my book, Closing Ranks, it doesn't matter if you're a police officer or in the private sector, whatever it may be, you can identify with the journey. So let them know change can be done now, but leaders of today, and do for self, and not allow people to prevent you from acting now and coming up with excuses. Oh, be patient, this is not your time. No, don't buy into that. Grasp the nettle, because remember, power is never given, you have to take it. I think conferences like this will make a difference. Having set up the Black Police Association over 30 years ago, we know the importance of critical mass, coming together to speak our truth, speak our narrative, to own our narrative, and ensuring that we have this collective understanding of where we are as a people and what we can do, and not to see it as just competition, but it's that collaboration. So even though I'm not a private sector person, I'm more of a social entrepreneur than anything, but I can still learn from my peers who are in the private sector or academia or wherever. So I think that's really important, that you have opportunities to support one another, get that sense of empowerment, get that boost, think, wow, you know, I'm not the only one that's going through this. There are other people who are going through similar experiences. I can collaborate, I can build networks, because if there's anything we've missed, I wish I had in 60s and 70s when I grew up, that understanding of what networking was all about. I don't even know the word was invented then, I don't know. But that sort of social networking, you know, the majority culture people, especially in the city here, that's what they do. You see them on the trains, on the buses, networking. We are not great on that. We're getting better, especially with social media. That's when it's been a force for good to really build on that. So I think conferences like this, Let's get those networks together. You know, it is meetings with a purpose. Let's have a common purpose. Let's collaborate. Don't see it as competition. We are a critical mass of people. We have to move together. As they say, you're only as fast as the slowest and only as strong as the weakest.